Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, lived a man and a woman who eagerly awaited the birth of their first child. From their window, they could see a beautiful walled garden belonging to a powerful enchantress named Dame Gothel. The garden was filled with the most wonderful plants and flowers. But the most tempting of all was a patch of Rapunzel, a type of lettuce. The wife, craving it more than anything, grew pale and thin with longing. Her husband, fearing for her life, decided he had to get some for her. Under the cover of night, he climbed the high wall into the enchantress's garden. He quickly grabbed a handful of the Rapunzel and brought it back to his wife. She devoured it greedily, but soon craved even more. The next night, her husband went back, but this time, as he climbed back over the wall, Dame Gothel appeared before him, her eyes blazing with fury. "How dare you steal from my garden?" she shrieked, trembling. The man explained his wife's desperate craving. Gothel's expression softened slightly, but her voice remained cold. "You may take all the Rapunzel you wish," she said, "but on one condition. You must give me the child your wife is about to bear. I will care for it as my own." The terrified man, seeing no other choice, agreed. Soon after, a beautiful baby girl was born. As promised, Dame Gothel appeared, named the child Rapunzel, and took her away. Gothel loved the child in her own possessive way. Rapunzel grew into the most beautiful girl under the sun, with long, magnificent hair as fine as spun gold. When Rapunzel turned 12, Gothel, fearing she would be discovered, locked her away in a tall, secluded tower in the middle of a dense forest. The tower had no doors and no stairs, only a single room at the very top with one small window. Whenever Gothel wanted to visit, she would stand at the base of the tower and call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Upon hearing the call, Rapunzel would unpin her long, golden braids, wrap them around a hook by the window, and let them cascade all the way down to the ground. Gothel would then use the thick braids as a rope to climb up to the room. 4 years, Rapunzel lived in solitude, her only company the birds, and her own sweet singing voice. She spent her days singing to pass the time, her voice echoing through the forest. One day, a prince was riding through the woods and was captivated by the enchanting melody. He followed the sound until he found the mysterious tower. He circled it searching for a door, but found none. Intrigued, he returned every day, drawn by Rapunzel's beautiful voice, hiding and listening. One afternoon, from his hiding spot, he saw Dame Gothel approach the tower and heard her call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." He watched in amazement as a long, golden braid fell from the window, and the old woman climbed up. The prince now knew the secret to reaching the girl with the angelic voice. The very next evening, as dusk fell, the prince stood at the foot of the tower and mimicked Gothel's call. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The golden braid tumbled down, and the prince climbed up. Rapunzel was startled and frightened at first, having never seen a man before. But the prince spoke to her gently, telling her how her singing had touched his heart, and how he could unrest until he had seen her. Rapunzel's fear slowly melted away, replaced by a strange new feeling. The prince was kind and handsome, and she found herself falling for him. He asked if she would marry him, and she agreed. "I will gladly go with you," she said, "but I have no way to get down. I have an idea. Every time you come, bring a skein of silk. I will weave a ladder with it, and when it is long enough, I will climb down, and we can escape together." They agreed to this plan, and the prince began visiting her every evening, as Gothel only came during the day. For a while, their secret was safe. Gothel suspected nothing, but one day, Rapunzel, in her innocence, forgot herself and said to the enchantress, "Tell me, Dame Gothel, why is it that you are so much heavier to pull up than the young prince? He is with me in a moment." Gothel's face turned white with rage. "You deceitful child," she screamed. "I thought I had hidden you from the world, but you have betrayed me." In her fury, she grabbed a pair of scissors and, snip, snip, she cut off Rapunzel's magnificent braids. Her beautiful golden hair lay on the floor. Then, with no pity, Gothel used her magic to banish Rapunzel to a desolate, wild wasteland, leaving her to fend for herself in misery and sorrow. That same evening, Gothel took the severed braids and tied them to the window hook. When the prince arrived and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," Gothel let the braids down. The prince climbed up, full of hope and excitement, only to find not his beloved Rapunzel, but the furious enchantress. "Aha!" she sneered, her eyes gleaming with malice. "You came for your songbird, but the cat has got her, and she will sing no more. You will never see her again." The prince was overcome with despair. In his grief, he leaped from the tower. He survived the fall, but he landed in a patch of thorns that blinded him. For years, the blind prince wandered through the forest, heartbroken and alone. He ate nothing but roots and berries, and spent his days and nights weeping for his lost love. He roamed aimlessly, calling out Rapunzel's name, but only the wind answered. One day, his wanderings led him to the very same wasteland where Rapunzel had been cast out. He was thin and ragged, a shadow of his former self. As he stumbled through the barren land, he heard a familiar, sorrowful voice singing in the distance. It was a voice he knew and loved. The voice of his He followed the sound, his heart pounding with a hope he hadn't felt in years. As he drew closer, Rapunzel saw him. She recognized him at once. Despite his tattered clothes and gaunt face, she ran to him, and they fell into each other's arms. Seeing his blind eyes, Rapunzel began to cry. 2 of her tears fell upon his eyes, and in that instant, a miracle happened. His sight was restored. He could see again, and the first thing he saw was the beautiful, tear-streaked face of his beloved The prince led Rapunzel back to his kingdom, where they were welcomed with great joy. They were married and lived a long, happy, and prosperous life together. And as for Dame Gothel, no one ever knew what became of her, but Rapunzel and her prince, united by love and song, found their happily ever after. Their story reminds us that even from the highest tower of despair, love and hope can build a ladder to freedom and happiness. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more timeless tales. Let us know in the comments which fairy tale you'd like to hear next. See you soon.